This is Mike Tyson, man. Throughout his boxing career, he was one of the most feared dudes on the planet. His knockout record is insane, and his championship history is legendary. A lot of people think he's the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time. We're going to dive deep into Tyson's life, man, and I promise you, you're going to walk away from this feeling inspired. So, Mike Tyson, he was born in Brooklyn, 1966. Rough start, man. His dad bounced when he was just 2 years old, leaving his family in a tough spot financially. They had to move to Brownsville, which, let me tell you, was not the safest place back then. Now picture this. Little Mike Tyson, not the intimidating force we know him as today. He was actually a small, shy kid who got picked on a lot. Can you believe that? The guy who would become Iron Mike was once an easy target. But here's the thing about Tyson, man. He's a survivor. He knew he had to adapt to this harsh environment, so he started developing his fighting skills on the streets. It wasn't about being a bully. It was about survival. But even with his newfound toughness, Tyson was still getting into trouble, man. He fell in with the wrong crowd, got involved with gangs, and by 13, he had already been arrested 30 times. This kid was on a one-way ticket to a bad place. He ended up in a reformatory school, and you might think, okay, that's it, another lost cause. But that's where things took a turn. He meets this counselor, Bob Stewart, and this dude, he sees something in Tyson. He sees this raw potential, this pent-up energy that just needs to be channeled in the right direction. Stewart agrees to train Tyson, but there's a catch. Tyson has to stay out of trouble and focus on his education. And you know what? Tyson steps up, he improves his reading, he dedicates himself to boxing. He's like a sponge, soaking up everything Stewart throws at him. Stewart realizes he's got something special on his hands, so he introduces Tyson to Constantine Cus D'Amato, a legendary boxing trainer. D'Amato, he sees the same potential in Tyson, and he takes him under his wing. He puts Tyson through these grueling training regimens, sparring with older, more experienced fighters. This is where Tyson starts to transform, both physically and mentally. But just when things were looking up, tragedy strikes. Tyson's mother passes away. Talk about a punch to the gut. Tyson's world is turned upside down again. He's devastated, angry, lost. He knows his mother would have wanted him to keep pushing forward, so he does. 1985, Mike Tyson steps into the ring for his first professional fight. And let me tell you, it was explosive. First round knockout. The world got a taste of what Iron Mike was all about. Raw power, lightning fast hands, and this aura of invincibility. He just kept winning, knocking out opponent after opponent. It was like watching a force of nature. But remember, this is the same year D'Amato passes away. Can you imagine the emotional turmoil Tyson must have been going through? He loses his mentor, the man who believed in him when no one else did. It would have been so easy for Tyson to spiral out of control, but he didn't. He kept fighting, honoring D'Amato's memory with every win. He racks up a 22-0 record, all by knockout. Then, in 1986, it happens. Mike Tyson, at just 20 years old, becomes the youngest heavyweight champion in history. Mike Tyson's story, man. It's raw, it's real, and it's inspiring. This is a guy who came from nothing, faced unimaginable hardship, but still managed to reach the pinnacle of his sport. He teaches us that life is going to throw punches, man. Some of them below the belt, but it's how you respond to those punches that defines you. He used it to fuel his rise to greatness.